Okay, so we're a community hospital, a small community hospital, about 100 beds. So we needed a way to leverage virtualization to reduce costs, reduce maintenance, reduce power consumption, and all of the traditional reasons why you would virtualize. We also wanted to reduce operational costs, reduce visits throughout the environment, to replace computers, power supplies fail, hard drives fail, that type of thing. And we knew we could accomplish that with virtualization. Physicians here in our hospital, nurse stations, patient rooms, things like that, because they all do clinical documentation either in the patient room, on mobile carts, or at a quiet location where the physicians can work. Being a hospital, a lot of these applications are critical to patient care, and we can't jeopardize patient care in any way. So virtualization has fit into that very well. Physicians, however, need to be mobile. They like to, if they're either on vacation or they're away for a few hours, they like to get caught up and, stay in touch with their patients. We decided to go with non-persistent desktops based on recommendations from GreenPages, and it's been great. What's good about it is when a user logs off, that session gets wiped right clean. So we don't have to worry about viruses or users downloading anything to the virtual machine that would cause clinical applications to fail, which we experience quite a bit with our FAT clients.
We chose local SaaS storage, and we accelerated it with Atlantis for two principles. Dedupe, we're able to actually deploy up to 150 link clones on those systems without running out of storage. And secondly, we were able to speed up the storage caching through Atlantis.
We were in a bit of a time crunch in the beginning, and we were bringing up a new strategic location here in our community. So right along the same time when we were bringing in virtualization, this new building was being put into place. So we had to make our decision: were we going to go with FAT clients in the new facility or go virtual? So it was pretty hectic in the beginning, and we knew we didn't want to go back and retrofit that building after we had deployed virtualization, so we decided to go virtual in that environment.
So it was 3 months to test all the applications, get a working model of the desktop, work out the bugs, and bring this new station online. And primarily that's one of the reasons we chose Atlantis and moved Atlantis into the operation. Normally in a traditional assessment, you would map out the IOPS, you would be able to make a certain assumption with the disk groups. In this particular case, I didn't want to deal with storage I/O problems, and that was primarily the reason we put Atlantis in the mix. And it performed very well. It allowed us to not worry about the #1 problem with VDI.
We found that the capital expenditures would probably end up being relatively the same because of the added licensing for all the various components that go into all the moving parts for desktop virtualization. But where we're going to see our return on investment is on the operational side. It's much easier for us to deploy software, to make changes on the fly, and to get them out very rapidly. And performance is great, on par with, and in some cases exceeding, what a physical desktop would be able to achieve.
We actually exceeded in the performance area of application launch time. The applications on Atlantis, on the system, launched faster than they could on physical desktops.
I'm very happy with Atlantis products and the performance that we've received, or the performance boosts we've received from those products. The latest version is incredibly fast.
Where we needed Atlantis to step it up with the extra performance is when you do recompositions, when you do patch updates, redeployments, boot storms, or lots of logins in the morning.
Well, it allows us to speed up deployments. The virtual machines live in the Atlantis NFS mount that we create as we're programming the server. And it's able to scale quite nicely and efficiently. So when we deploy desktops, we're able to deploy a group to a pool, 70 desktops, in 12 minutes. And that's pretty incredible when you think about it. And just to see, Virtual Center light up with all those machines coming online nearly as simultaneously is pretty impressive.
We're able to not only decrease our deployment times, but when these hits occur, we're able to power up VMs without suffering the boot storm. So I could go from 70 to 120, and the 70 users aren't even to know that 50 more systems are booted on that host. Actual I/O intensive part of the infrastructure is actually distributed on each of the individual nodes. So normally in a traditional, centralized storage environment, if you have a boot storm, everybody suffers. In this environment, if host A is having a problem, host B doesn't see it. Host C doesn't see it. So we're able to provide mid-host additional isolation that you wouldn't normally have in a traditional VDI environment. And that's exactly what they asked for. They didn't want to have all their eggs in one basket.